TikTok, it's time to rock, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 5150 show. This is a special edition of the 5150 show, ladies and gentlemen. Here in New Zealand, it's Eddie Van Halen's birthday. And Leandro, I've got to tell you, I put a post on Facebook today wishing Eddie happy heavenly birthday, and this guy replied back saying, it's the 25th. It's the 25th, and I replied back saying, not where I am, bro. it's the 26th, because we're a day ahead. Anyway, it's my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce to you all the way from Connecticut in the United States of America. Here he is, right next to me, Leandro. How are you, brother?
Glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here. We've been talking about doing something like this, I think, for a while, at least towards the end of last year. And I think with holidays and stuff like that, and trying to work out time zones, it always becomes a bit of an issue with people. But to get you on and hang out with us and tell us your story, I've got to tell you, I've received a few Instagram messages from people who are interested, because you're developing a bit of a reputation, my friend. You're developing a reputation. I'm going to tell people, trust me, Leandro's going to talk, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me, I'm just talking a little bit here at the start. But I met you when our channel was streaming the EVH Con. So we had Craig Stofko setting up the camera, and we had Jimmy setting it up as well. And then you came in. You came in quite early. And you were sitting there on the stage and you were jamming away. And I remember going, "Wow, who's that cat?" Do you remember that?
I did remember that. Yeah, I was playing the star, actually. I brought the star because... So how I got there is because I told my parents about this event that was happening in that store, and I really wanted to go there because there was a lot of people that were coming in, and they wanted to like hang around, play music and jam and play some Eddie Van Halen music, And I love the idea of us gathering around in a group and just play along the music that he left us for us, And yeah, that was in November, right? Yeah, November. Yep, November 2022. And so I was excited to go there. My parents were like, "Yeah, sure, let's go."
Yeah.
So we went there. And I was gonna bring the circles, but I was like, wait, because as I went through the posts, there wasn't really anybody in the past con shows of that in that store of anybody really bringing a star. So I was like, why not? I'll bring my star. So I thought I'll be the first one to bring it. And so I brought the star, and everybody was just like, wow, that's a cool guitar, the star. And then I just sit down. I just started playing, at the rig that they were setting up, and then I got to play, and it sounded great. And people were nice there. Everybody's nice, everybody's cool, and everybody plays great too, also. So yeah.
Well, I've heard some reports. So obviously, Jimmy is a co-host on the show that we do here, and obviously John Conklin, and I'm really, really good friends with Mikey Mojo, who was there as well, and Lewis Costa has been on our channel. So, Janice Lala's here, and she kindly filmed a little bit of the show for us from her device for us as well. So. I keep saying this when we go live. Isn't it amazing that we've got this situation now, this technology where I'm here in New Zealand, you're in the States, you can hook up with people from all around the world at this EVH Con in a music store in Greenwich. It's like, wow.
Yeah, it's actually amazing. It's actually pretty cool. Yeah, I find it pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah, so you were there for the whole event, weren't you?
I was, yeah, I was.
And your first EVH Con?
It was my first EVH Con. Yeah, it was, which is the cool part
Um,
about it, actually.
and it obviously won't be your last.
No, no, no. I'm definitely going this year again in November. I think it's in November. I think I'm not sure if they announced it or not, but I will be asking them, and if they're going to be doing it in November again. I think so. Yeah, I will be going this year just soon, and I'm deciding whether what guitar should I bring for this year. Actually, maybe the star again or the circles probably, or maybe the bumblebee probably behind me. I really have no
Well,
idea, but
the bumblebee is always a favorite, isn't it, for a lot of people?
yeah,
Look, we've got some people in the chat that are jumping in. Like I said to you before, bro, we've got Janice Lale here. Thank you, Janice, for joining us. We've got another good friend of the channel here. Greg Roberts is in here. Good to see you, brother. 78 EVH, another good friend of the channel. Another good friend of the channel's jumped in, Nelson Rodriguez. So thank you guys for sharing a bit of time and hanging out with us. And if you're watching on a replay, please leave a message for me, for the rest of the guys at the 5150 show, and also for Leandro as well. Leave a message. So I suppose the big question for an old fart like me is is how did a young guy like you get into Van Halen? What was it that got you into Van Halen to this stage now, where you've got all these EVH guitars behind you and you're
yeah.
ripping EVH tunes? Tell us, brother.
Okay, so it was late 2017. I got into to rock music really. I already was into rock music really. I was into Queen, GNR, The Crew, Metallica, just like, the great bands like them.
Yep.
And then I was in a car with my parents on the way back home from school actually. And I heard on the Canadian rock station, and they put up Van Halen. They put Unchained actually. They put Unchained, and then the next song they put Running with the Devil. And I thought that was a great. I thought that was a great tune. Just the sound of the guitar. And I questioned my mom. I was like, "What is that? What is that? Who is that?" I didn't know who that was. So then she was like, "Oh, that's Van Halen." I was like, "Oh, that's a cool name for a band."
Yep.
And then after that, I searched up who was the band actually, and it said Eddie, then it said Alex, Dave, Sammy, Mikey, and then the rest, Gary Sharon. I was like, oh, cool. Who's the guitar player? Oh, and it showed Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's cool. And then when I think after that, a few weeks goes by actually. Uh, and then I wanted to watch a movie actually. I was watching Minions actually, Minions from Despicable Me. I love that scene at the end where one of the Minions planes was playing Eruption on the red guitar at the end of the movie, and I was like, "Who is that? That sounds amazing!" Actually, I love that solo. And my mom's was watching with me, eating. We were just watching at the end. She said, "That's Van Halen's also." I was like, "Oh, cool! That's amazing." And then I started to really get into the music after that because it kind of sparked a little bit of a fire in me in the music, and because I listened to all kinds of bands from before, even before I heard of Van Halen, um, and nothing really like sparked like that. It didn't like ignite like that fire like Van Halen did, and it really took me into a different direction because I was actually playing guitar by then. Actually, I was trying to learn how to play, I think iconic solos,
Yep.
very recognizable riffs. And then as I got into Van Halen, was just like, this is something else. This is something like from a different planet. I mean, it really is an amazing band, and the music is just it's just crazy to me to think that someone can impact you in such a way, and
Sure.
it could really like change you in a way, and through not just musically, but also can change your life really. And it really got to me, and I started to
It
get into the music from them, and
it
it was just amazing.
it's interesting that you should say that, because we've got 12 people watching, and I'm darn sure that every single person that's watching the show knows exactly what you're talking about, knows exactly how you feel. The only difference, bro, is uh, the only difference is the time span from
Oh yeah.
when we felt it compared to how you're going through the same experience that we felt with this music, with this band, up until only a couple of years ago. So you know, that always fascinates me personally, and I know that with a couple of my other co-hosts as well. And everyone will be inspired by the fact that your own young man coming through being inspired by the same music. I got to do a shout out to your mum. Got to do a shout because your mum's cool. Your mum knew who the band was. Your mum
Yeah.
knew, yeah, knew the songs. So you know, make sure you buy mum a coffee for, you know, at least she got the band right.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just glad I really got into to that kind of music, and well, it's funny because when I started playing guitar,
Yeah,
I actually was just trying to play rhythm and lead because I was already playing in I played in church actually. I play in my local church where my dad lives actually, and
fantastic.
I love playing there.
Yep.
Um, and I started to get to that into that phase of what's it like playing with other people and playing with other professional musicians and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was great. It was really great actually. And it took it when I started listening to of Eddie and how he plays. It kind of like changed my way of playing guitar, and that's why I
How?
really got into
How?
his music.
How do you want to? Because a lot of us are guitar players who watch the channel. So do you want to explain? Do you how it affected the way that you approach the guitar? Do you want to talk a bit about that?
Yeah. So it changed me in a way in guitar where I really just was just like I don't know. It's just something like that. It kind of like it just kind of like changed my way of music first of all because that's what really changed my music taste actually because before I got into bands like them I was really into like the typical nowadays kind of music
Sure.
and after that was never the same and I'm glad that was never the same because that was a really like a big change for me. So guitar playing, I just started hearing songs, iconic songs from them, and just try to practice the idea and the skillful talent that Eddie had, and just try to like learn it. And I am self-taught actually. I self-taught myself actually.
Wow. Well, that was one of my questions about how you picked up the guitar. So you're self-taught. Wow.
Yes, I am self-taught. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And what's funny is that because my dad was actually my first ever teacher.
Sure.
He got me into guitar playing. He would like lend me his guitars, and I would bring it back and forth.
Sure.
Just playing at my room and just play here and just jam along to my favorite songs. And but once he when he noticed I got into Van Halen, he noticed the changes of my playing was more like more different, and it was a lot more more technically better. I mean,
Yeah.
well, yeah, better in a
Yeah.
way because
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
dad was more of like a player. He plays guitar and he likes to sing too, but
Yeah.
he's not much of like a lead player,
Yeah.
and that's
He's a
what I
rhythm
am.
man. He's a rhythm
Re-
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and when I got into to Eddie, I sort of showed him that, and he was like, "Wow, this is amazing." I'm glad you're into this kind of music because I kind of grew up with that too, actually. I mean, I was a kid back then. It was a great time and great music back then. When I heard Jump on the radio, and then MTV was amazing, and I was like, wow, that's cool. That's amazing, actually. And then yeah, just going back to some old live videos of them playing, and just see how much fun Van Halen had. And to the people, really like
Yeah.
seeing
Yeah.
like that fun excitement and just like just like the joy of just playing their favorite kind of music in
Yeah.
that time, and I just really see that when I go to, because I okay, so I saw Wolfgang last year in March 2022. They were amazing. I got there early, like I think around like 3 or 4, and they
Yeah.
were about to play around like 7, I think. And it was a huge line. It was like a huge line, and
Wow.
yeah, it was packed. It was packed full. It was in New Haven, Connecticut, in the Toad's Place, and that is actually where I met Fefer Guitarco actually, because
Oh,
yeah, I actually met him in person. Great guy.
um,
He's cool. Great guy. He's
Lewis.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a great guy. He really was a great guy, and he still is. He's just
Yeah.
amazing.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and yeah, and when I saw him at the show, it was kind of funny because after when the show ended, I was like, "Hey man, what's up?" And I wanted to get a picture with him, and I just wanted to say talk. I wanted to say hi to him, just talk to
Yeah.
him, and just casually about the music and what is he doing. And at the time when he was started to make these guitar straps, the ones that
Sure.
Eddie that made and used throughout back in the day in the shows, and
Yep.
I thought it was amazing. I thought it was just a cool idea of sharing that to the community of Van Halen fans, and I thought that was amazing. And like I said again, Favorite Guitar Co is a great guy, and if he's here watching it with us, I want to say hi to him, man. He's amazing. Shout out to
I,
him.
I've
Yeah.
I've got to do a shout out on my access there. I have his banjo strap. He kindly sent me one of his banjo straps. It should actually be on this guitar here, but it's on the Axis at the moment. But the banjo strap. Thank you, Lewis. And we'll tag Lewis's details, Leandro, on this video too, if people want to go and check out
Awesome.
Lewis's website. And we'll also include, ladies and gentlemen, Leandro's contact details as well. We'll include his Instagram and any other social media accounts he wants to give to us. We'll attach them here so you can go and check him out and hang out with them.
Cool. And so yeah, so after the show, they Wolfie and his band just totally just rocked the place.
Wow.
And it was also cool that that was actually my first time seeing Wolfie. I just the moment I saw him on stage was just like, wow, am I dreaming? Am I dreaming? No way. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I was just so happy because that was actually like the best day. And then prior to that, actually, 17 days earlier to that, before that concert happened, was actually my
Yeah.
birthday. So it was like the best birthday ever I had ever had that year. Um, and so then yeah, it was a great show. Had fun. I ate some pizza after the show. Had a good time with my mom, and it was great.
Hey, hey, so when you discovered this band Led Zeppelin's another band. Sorry that we Van Halen. When you discovered Van Halen, so you grabbed your Spotify. Is that what you did? You grabbed Spotify and you went and found Van Halen and you listened to all the albums. Is that how you did it, or did you grab some vinyl? Did you go to the record shop? How
I
did you
did.
do it?
It was actually through a vinyl. Actually, it was through a radio first, and then I went through the vinyl because my mom had a record player. She
Yep.
had one of those like classic, like vintage record players, and it looked amazing. It sounded cool. It sounded very like it has like that nice old feel of
Yeah.
like the sound.
Yeah.
And I went to a record store actually that was in New York actually, and I wanted my dad for me to get me Van Halen 1 actually, and that is to this day is my favorite record of all time. You put any record against it, it would knock it down for me. It was just that record is amazing. I love it. It's my absolute favorite. Um, and when I put the vinyl down on the record player, I just heard "Running with the Devil" and then the other hits. "Ain't Talking About Love." You really got me. Then I heard the famous solo "Eruption."
Sure.
Well, that really changed me. and impacted me a lot. It was just a great album. I still have it actually right here. It's right next to my CD player on top right here onto like my shelves. I have like every single Van Halen vinyl actually.
Yep.
All I'm missing is just Van Halen 2. I don't have Van Halen 2. I just have everything else though. And yeah, it was just an amazing record. Love it. And that's what got me into guitar playing, big time, really. So yeah,
So so uh, we're getting some awesome comments from people that are watching. They're blown away by the fact that you're a young guy and you've caught this amazing love for this band and this guitar player. And Lenny Lou's going, trying not to sound old fashioned here, but Leandro's mum sounds awesome. We made that comment earlier. Yes,
oh yeah, I met Lenny New actually. I met Lenny New at the show actually.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it was great. Yeah, very kind person to me. Everybody was so cool. It was so the moment it hit me, I was like, oh, this like aura of just kindness was just like it was so nice, and I felt that really. It was great. It was just amazing. Shout out to Lenny Lou, actually, by the way.
Good on you, man. Good on you for doing that because, yeah, this community that we have is global, bro. It's not just
Yeah,
it's not just in your town or in your city or in your state or in your country. This community we got here, this cool community. It's a global thing that we're involved in, and I suppose the biggest beware thing I'm going to say to you, and I'm sure other people are going to agree. Once a Van Halen fan, always a Van Halen fan, bro. So yeah,
yeah,
unfortunately, every band and artist that you discover from now on is always going to be measured by Van Halen.
always, yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true, actually. Yeah,
um, so
love it.
so we're going to talk more about Van Halen music later, but I know that there's a couple of questions we saw earlier there because obviously we love guitars on this channel.
Oh
Look
yeah,
at us. Everyone's
oh yeah.
got guitars, and you've got some guitars behind you. So
Yep.
grab a couple of your guitars, and we'll talk about them now and then later on. So what was the first EVH guitar that you got, and tell us about that one.
Okay, so the first guitar was actually the Wolfgang I have right here. Actually, let me show you. Here it is.
Wow.
So yeah, uh, EVH Chlorine Burst Wolfgang Standard. I got this. It was 2 months after when Eddie passed, and I was really into guitar playing,
Yep.
and it hit me hard when I saw a Wolfgang actually. Because I saw, so when I got this guitar actually, this Wolfgang, I got this in Sam Ash in White Plains, New York, and I just thought that this guitar was the coolest guitar in that whole store.
Sure.
And and this guitar was just laying in like in a guitar stand right next to an amp. It was next to a Marshall Jason 800 actually, and I played it through there, and it sounded amazing. Had like that classic distortion. It just plays great. And I also noticed that there was actually a shark on the very top of the guitar wall of just like rows of guitars. I
Yeah.
saw the shark, and I played it. It sounded amazing. I I really wanted the shark actually, but it was too much at the time. It was so expensive. I really wanted that guitar, but I was into more of the Wolfing because it had like a nice feel. The neck was very like smooth,
Sure.
kind of thin, you know. And I never had a Floyd Rose guitar ever, so I thought why not? I'll get it. So I bought it with my own money. I saved up for my dad working with my father,
Yeah.
and over the summer too, also actually. And
Good man.
yeah, I just saved up for the Wolfgang. At the time, it costed like 649 now, and now it costs like almost $800 now. Crazy. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was like a big change throughout then and now. And this was my first guitar ever, the Wolfgang.
So, so, So that was your first guitar. So what was your second guitar then? Was it one of the guitars behind you?
It is, yeah. It is actually the white and black stripe series, actually.
Okay, all
That
right.
was right there. Yeah, I'm gonna show you. Let me show you.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
is,
Please do. You
yeah.
grab him, brother. Grab him
All
and
right.
tell us the
So,
story because we love guitar stories.
so yeah. So this guitar, 78.
Hold on, I'm going to
Love it.
present you. Hold it up, brother.
Love it. Love it. Absolutely amazing. Great guitar.
Wow.
This thing is just great. I mean, it was my first ever Stripe Series guitar, actually. And this thing just blew me away. I mean, when I got this guitar in Guitar Center in Yonkers, actually, in Yonkers, New York. And my dad saw that guitar on the wall, and my dad actually was trying to trade off some stuff that he didn't really want anymore, actually, for
Okay.
something else. It was like all like old music equipment, and they were quite like expensive, kind of.
Yeah.
And I thought, hey, Dad, I thought I just saw a guitar, an EVH guitar. Can I get it? Actually, I want to get it. Actually, I want to get it for my birthday. Actually,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so my dad got it for me. And he did not get it on my birthday. He got it much later. Actually, it was more in the summer, like at the start of summer of my junior year in high school. So it was around the time when I graduated 11th grade. So I got this guitar. This guitar was just hanging on the wall. I played it,
Wow.
and it was just so amazing. This guitar is great. It was very tony,
Yep.
very good feel. I loved it. The guitar was just it was really great. I just can't explain it. I can't explain it in words because it was just so good. I love the sound of it, and I played through an EVH cabinet. Yeah, an EVH cabinet with the I think was the LBX 34. I think, I'm not sure what's it called,
Okay.
the amp head, and I played it through it, and it sounded amazing. The amp sounds great too, and I wanted to own one of those amps, actually,
Yeah.
and I got it right behind me, actually, right there. I got
Hold
it
on. I'm going to present. Oh, you
right there.
have two.
Yeah, yep. So I have the amp head and the,
Wow.
the cabinet, and I got along with the guitar, and I played it through. It was amazing, and it just sounded great, really was. So that was my second guitar, actually. Second guitar.
Okay, so you got two EVH guitars.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're playing them, you're looking at them. You've caught the bug. You've caught the guitar bug.
Yep.
Clearly. So all right, we're talking guitars. I know that we said that we'd finish talking about guitars later on, but let's carry on.
Yeah.
So you've got the bug. So what's the next guitar you buy? What's the next EVH guitar? Tell us. Tell it. Go through your catalog, brother.
So the next guitar I got was actually the Circles. Actually, the Circles. I got it in February 2022. In February 2022 and 17, I think. And my dad wanted me to do a deal. Actually, he offered me a deal about, if you pass high school, I'll get you that Circles guitar. Yeah, yeah. And so far, I didn't pass yet. I mean, I could have graduated earlier in this month in January, but I got it early because I convinced him to can I keep it here until I can wait until summer of this year, so I can graduate officially, and then get the guitar and just keep it here. And Yeah, I convinced him, and he was like, you know what, fine, just take it, keep it. I have no use for it. Just take it. That's like, because he doesn't have too much space in his room for it. So I thought, why not keep it? And I got it. It's in my room now. And what's funny is that the fourth guitar I got next after the Circles was the Star. And what's funny is that I got it in the same year. The same year.
Wow.
I got it in May. I got it in May
Awesome.
off of Reverb, actually. And
Fantastic.
yeah, the same year. So February, and then, like, so it's March, April, May. So like 3 months later, I got the Star. and was just it plays. They both play great. Very rare guitars also,
Yeah,
and
yeah, they are. And look, we've got to do a quick couple of shout outs while they're here. Lewis is here, the Fairfield
yeah,
Guitar Company. So
shout out to
thank
him.
you, Lewis. We were talking about you before, brother. If you weren't here, Leandro did a wonderful shout out to you. So thank you for jumping in and hanging out with us. And also, we've got another good friend of the channel, Fran, is here. Fran, now I'm probably going to cock up your surname, brother. Captinelli, Fran Captinelli. I'd love to hang out with you, bro, on a show. Fran, we've got to talk. We've got to get you on here. Please go and check out Fran's channel, ladies and gentlemen. I'll include Fran's contact details. He does some awesome videos as well. Check out Fran.
Cool. So yeah, so when I
Oh,
got
and Sandra. And Sandra Pulcani is here from the Fruitcake Tony show. Hey, Sandra.
cool.
Okay, so sorry for interrupting you, bro. So
That's okay.
we're talking guitars. You know, we got to be polite and say hello to people. It's important. So do you want to show us that star? Do you want to show us the star?
This is the guitar I brought to the show, and yeah, great guitar.
Oh,
It's actually very light. Actually, it's not
hold
too
on, I'm going to
it's not
present you,
heavy
bro.
like I thought it would be actually. So here it is, and yeah, just all out amazing, great guitar. Has a long neck, very light. I thought it would be heavy, but it's not. Actually, it isn't. And the first person I gave it to actually when I was playing in the conch was actually Luis. Actually, I gave it to him first, and because he wanted to try it out, and I gave it to him, and he liked it. That was an amazing guitar, and I thought that it would be a cool thing to bring to the show and play a few songs up on stage with Halen band from Connecticut that were playing on stage. Um, I played on Fire, and then I played You Really Got Me, and then at the end of the show of in that place, I played Eruption. I tried. It was kind of hard playing while standing up because I don't play too much standing up too much. Um, and it was great. I enjoyed my time there, and everybody was great. Had a good time. It was amazing. This is the guitar I brought to play it throughout all like the show and just bring it in. So
Oh,
yeah.
that's a beautiful guitar. We've got another good friend of the channel popping in to say hi. John ZD351 is hanging out with us too, Leandro. He's from Australia. He's very good friends with Simon Hosford. He's one of our co-hosts as well. Another Van Halen nut. Everybody is Van Halen nut. So,
Yeah.
no surprise. I have to ask this question. I
Yeah.
gotta ask that. What's your favorite guitar? What's the guitar
Ooh.
yeah, I know. It's the hard one. I know it's the one that you don't want to get asked.
that's a that's a hard question. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Go,
Wow.
it's the guitar. Okay, so let me put it this way. It's the one that you're going to run out if your house is on fire. It's the one that you have to save. Which one's it going to be?
Uh, well, I love the White and Black Stripe series. Is my favorite guitar. It defines '78 all the way, and I love that guitar because it's the guitar that started it all, really. And yeah, I was really like when I first had the guitar in my possession, I was like, wow, this is a great guitar. It's my absolute favorite guitar. Now I had a few debates a little bit about whether or not which Frankie is cooler, and with a couple of friends from school that are
Sure.
they're also a little bit of Van Halen heads too also,
Yep.
and I always say that both editions of versions of the guitar they're both the same, they're both amazing, they're both iconic.
Yep.
But the white one was one that started it all, and the red one
Yep.
is more iconic.
Yep.
So
Yep.
there's no really like answer for that because I love them all. I love them all equally. So To answer your question, I probably would have to say probably the white and black one, probably.
Okay, well, Fran's asking you to show the Van Halen 2 guitar, pretty please, if you
Oh
could.
yeah.
So, if you can. And Janice wants to know, are you going to go and watch Halen tomorrow at in
Oh
Connecticut? Are you going
yeah.
to go and see them?
Oh yeah. Um. So yeah, about that actually, the thing I have with I would love to go to the show. I would love to go to the show. Here's the guitar, by the way, for
Oh,
Fran who wants to see it. Yeah, great guitar. I got it in December actually. Got it in December. My Christmas gift.
wow.
Um,
What
yeah,
a Christmas present.
yeah, it's just amazing. And I also got a new amp actually. My Yamaha THR 30 too. Yeah,
Oh,
that
mate,
was
I've got a THR 30. Swear by it. You know, it's got the wireless. Man,
oh
oh,
yeah, it's the one of the best tone amps I've ever owned, and it sounds ridiculously good. It sounds
yep,
amazing. It's so
yep.
it really is kind of like just like the king of amps, really of tone, you know. And it's yeah, like you said, it's wireless, and you can carry it to to anywhere. I brought it to school actually one time, and I was playing because I have a club that I created. There's about like 10 people who plays music there. I created the club in my school
Wow.
to because of the inspiration from Eddie, because I thought that if he can unite people and gather up people loving the same thing like what he did and impact us, I want to do the same thing and gather people who loves music, and we can all create this and like this like all this like amazing big thing, and just play along and jam, because that's really like the fun of it all in music, really, and playing guitar, having fun with it, and don't worry about the craft work and music, really, and just by playing guitar, really.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
there's a couple of things I want to say about that. Thank you for doing that, because it's that creative spark that you have as a musician, as a music fan, that gives you that spark. To go out there and to at least speak about this love for music that you have. And we talk about this often on the show, Leandro. When we were growing up, when we were your age at school, and I'm sure a lot of people in the chat will agree with this. When we used to hang out with people and would meet them, and they'd say, when you'd ask them a question, what kind of music are you into? And they'd say, no, don't listen to music. You say, okay, not friends, move on to someone else. But if you met someone that said they were into music and they liked music that you probably didn't even like, but they were passionate about it, you still liked them, because they were on fire for their music. They may have been listening to reggae or jazz or country or something, but bluegrass, but they were on fire for it. And it's like, yeah, I know where this cat's coming from. They're okay. So the fact, again, this universal thing of you wanting to go out there and create this environment at your school and convert these people into Van Halen nuts. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, John, this is actually, I see your question. No, this is actually not a custom job. It's actually an official EVH
Oh,
licensed Fender Stripe Series guitar. Yeah,
oh,
I got it in December as my Christmas gift, and yeah, it's just overall great guitar. I always wanted to get the Bumblebee next, and I got it after the Star. I always wanted this guitar. I love it, and I still do. It really
yep.
is. After like a month and a half of playing this guitar, and it's just so it's every single guitar I play that is EVH related. It's just so good. It's just like it's like playing like a Charvel, a San Dimas Charvel, or like a SoCal Charvel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
all they have this like nice feel, and I try many guitars also, and they all different, but they play great. And I personally love guitarist that is just EVH, really, and I just love it. It's amazing.
Um, Thank you, JC, for the kind donation to help the channel. We really, really appreciate that. Look, I think one of the interesting things too about playing guitars and collecting guitars, they're works of art, aren't they? They're beautiful. Look, you've got them hanging up on your bedroom wall. So. It's just one of those cool things about guitars. So, you haven't answered the question. Your favorite guitar?
Oh, the white and black stripe series.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. The white and black. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
at the moment, that's your favorite guitar because tomorrow it will change.
It would, yeah. That's the funny part. Like it always changes, and I'm like, I prefer like whenever I come back from school and I want to play guitar, I decide what I want to start with playing first, and I just try to. It's mostly between the star, the circles, or the bumblebee. Actually, it's right here. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I've been playing, but mostly I've been playing the white and black one the most overall, and it's just a fun guitar. It really is. They're all fun. Even the Wolfgang too. I don't give that much credit for that guitar because all guitars I have is just fun. It really is.
So, do you work on your guitars yourself? Do you set them up? Do you lower the action yourself? Change the strings? Do you adjust your Floyd Rose?
From time to time.
Yep.
Yeah, from time to time. Yeah. The strings. If I break, I just change it. I change the action. I tend to like switch some parts that I have, and I really want to learn how to like change pickups also, because I'm trying to get into the field work of how to like really like change a guitar and through like all kinds of parts that is in a guitar, usually, and I want to like learn how to do it. So that is like my end goal right now.
Yeah, and the good thing about doing that kind of stuff now, and we were talking about this a while ago on the channel, the good thing about doing that now is you can buy cheap pickups now and do all that kind of stuff, whereas before in the day, you never had cheap, crappy stuff, so if you were mucking around with pickups, they were always generally pretty good ones, you know what I mean? So you can buy a pretty good, cheap pickup now and, make mods and do bits and pieces. That's always a good thing. Lenny Lou's got a great question because I'm a Music Man nut. I love Ernie Ball Music Man. So did you get to play one at the con?
I did not. And I know. And there was one on the wall actually hanging up there. I think it was Lenny Lou's, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was like a translate gold top Ernie Ball Axis music. Oh, no, sorry, no, music band. Sorry, and I was gonna play it. I just didn't know who it was, and I didn't know where to ask really. But yeah, I never got to play one. I played the Accent Sterling in a guitar center that I played, and it has like a nice feel. It looks just like the one that you have behind you actually.
Yeah.
Looks just like similar like the one. Yeah. But no, not really. No, I've not played it yet. I might be able to play it when I get when the next con show starts.
Look, I'm sure Craig Sofko's got about 20 of them. Yeah, he's, you know what I mean, and he's always doing a lot of work on them. But I just, one of the great things again, and I'm gonna, I'm repeating myself because I've mentioned this a few times on a few other shows, Leandro. But one of the great things I love about this musician that we follow, this great guitar player, is that you can pick a 5150 and say that's your number one guitar, and no one's going to give you any grief for it. You can say you love the Star or the Shark or the Frankenstein, and or you can build your own tribute. You know what I mean? You can have or a Wolfgang, or the new 5150s that are coming out with the two pickups. You could probably even because we've seen Wolfie do it. You can even pick up one of Wolfie's guitars when they come out and still be a Van Halen nut. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's gonna be. I would love to make my own guitar. I always wanted to make my own guitar. Actually, I always wanted to like see what kind of like parts I can use. And I always wanted to like just have that as like my signature own guitar that I can play roughly myself. And not just play too much Van Halen every day, because that's what I do every single time when I play guitar right now. But it's just because I really wanted to see how do people take their like how do they like buy parts and then making like the whole process of making a guitar. And I always wanted to do that, and I have a few friends who does that kind of stuff. My dad made a guitar himself one time, but that was years ago, and
Yeah.
and I will try to see what I can do to if I could do that later in the future. So yeah.
Well, if that's something that you do, or a project that you want to document or talk about, let us know here on the channel. Jump on and let us know what your plans are, and document it. And I'm sure when people follow you on your Instagram, whatever you do, you'll be documenting it over there, because people, again, love that. Mate, I've never built a guitar in my life. And I'm not even going to try and build a guitar because I don't have the patience for things like that. But I love watching and talking to guys who have had the courage, the skills, and the determination to build their guitars. John Conklin, who's been on our show, he's one of our co-hosts. He built his own 5150, bro, and it's just and Craig Stuffco, who you met at EVH Con. He's built some outstanding 5150s too. So, if you can get in there and start doing your own, no one isn't going to be impressed. Trust me.
Oh wow. I mean, I see. It's cool to see, and it's people making their own guitars. And um when okay, because at the con show, when I saw there was many folks, I mean, there was like a whole roll of 5150 Kramer guitars. It was just like a whole roll of them, including the Frankenstrat, the Neptune guitar, I think,
Yeah.
uh, the Kramer's commercial guitar, and it was just amazing. I was like, wow, this is amazing. How do they? I'm just impressed with people how detailed they are to like the relicing also, because that's actually where a lot of the parts that are going to when you're making a guitar out of like a guitar body, and mostly with like Kramer parts. And I just find it really cool, and I really want to make one actually. And yeah, favorite guitar code, yeah, when the weather gets better, yeah,
Um,
absolutely. I'm gonna hit you up with that, yeah.
there's a good friend who supports our channel. His name's Robert Ramford. You may have come across him on Instagram. If you haven't, I'll send you his details. He's building a 5150 at the moment, and he's got like a lot of guys and girls, who've built their guitars. He's got all the pictures and got them there and laid them out, but he's blowing them up, to get the reliquing right, to get the wood grain right. It's just. And I've just, like I said before, I've just got to stand back and admire these people to have the determination and patience to do that. So
Yeah.
if you get into that category, Lewis has given you a wonderful offer there, an opportunity to build a guitar together. If Lewis's eye for detail, it's probably going to be a pretty good guitar too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, is yeah. I might work on that with Luis. I really, because he's a great. This guy makes guitars amazing. This guy is one of the nicest guys I've ever met in the community. Great guy. Also, Mikey Melcho's in the house.
Yeah, Mikey.
Hey, Mikey.
Yeah. Mikey is a very, very good friend of the channel. Good, just a great guy.
Yeah.
just a rock in our community, supports everybody on Instagram, supports everybody on YouTube that gets together and talks about Van Halen. Got a soft spot for Mikey. Thank you, Mikey, for all the encouragement you do for not only for our channel but for everybody else. Mikey, you have a permanent invitation on this channel, brother. You know that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mikey's amazing. Mikey is just a great guy. I met him at the show too. Also, yeah, I think he brought the Rossi guitar that he made. I think.
Yeah, and the sad thing, the sad thing, we're filming from Jimmy's laptop, and soon as Mikey jumps on stage, you're not going to believe it. Soon as Mikey jumps, I think we just hear one chord, and the bloody computer runs out of power. Oh, it's going, oh. Oh.
I forgot what song was I forgot what song was he playing in the show. Everybody was just amazing. Everybody's on fire on that show. They played great. Everybody was just very cool. They're bringing their own Wolfgang guitars and their own sharp series. Even some guitars I haven't seen yet in person. Actually, it was just incredible. It was like a great time. That day was amazing, and I will be coming soon again this year. Later in the future, I will be going.
Oh yeah, we've got John Conklin. How are you, Conks? Good to see you, brother. Thank you for hanging out with us. I suppose getting back to maybe talking a little bit about music. So obviously you got into Van Halen, and you decided that you were going to play, some Van Halen stuff. Can you remember your process? You listened to a couple of songs, you listened to a riff or a lead, and that was your decision. You were going to go and practice that, or was there something set? You were going to start off with Running with the Devil and work all the way through Van Halen 1. What was the plan, brother?
So the first song that I tried learning was "You Really Got Me."
Oh, good.
Was a really groovy tune. It was just a great cover from the Kinks. Really amazing, great, just overall, and it was a just overall cool, really like very moody, kind of like a groove song, and yeah, and I absolutely love playing that song, and it's just so fun to play. And I even tried to learn that, like, just the solo, the riffs. I tried learning even through David Lee Roth's voice, like when he was playing "You Really Got Me." I'm trying to like learn it through on guitar, and it was an interesting way of playing music and trying to learn how musically the song really goes, and just overall great song. That was actually my first ever song I ever learned. "You Really Got Me," and then the next song was actually it was "Running with the Devil." Then I think it was either Panama or Jump. I'm not really sure, but those were like the starting songs that I started learning. And I've gotten better each day, trying to learning the songs, and it was just fun. It was just overall fun, having a great time learning, and trying to see what's actually going on behind those songs and what's the meaning behind it. It's just like it's something that you can relate to. Most of these songs you can relate to, and just overall great songs, great hits.
Awesome.
Honestly.
We've got some other people jumping in saying hi. We've got Christopher Live Sawa jumping in saying hi to you, brother. Another good friend of the channel. Thomas Santiago is in here. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for hanging out with us. Another good friend and another big player in our community as well, all jumping in here. I suppose the interesting thing for me when it comes to guitar playing and learning songs. So you were saying, that you've taken an opportunity to play with some other musicians, because it's one thing to play along to a jam track or a YouTube clip, isn't it? It's one or the album. the next step obviously is to get together in a live band situation. So clearly you did that. You did that last year at EVH Con. Do you have any plans of doing, something yourself? You got, forming your own band
Um, hmm.
that you want to talk to us about? Is that a goal? Is that something in the future for you?
Well, making a band would be amazing. But that was originally a goal that I wanted to do, making a band. And I tried asking a few people if we can make a form a band, um, and it was gonna be a band that was it was actually not gonna be Van Halen type because most of the friends that I have were musician players, but they weren't really like too much into the band,
Yep.
really, and
Yep.
and me trying to show them some songs, they like it, but they could not really like understand the musicality behind it and how to like learn these songs, self-taught like I have.
Sure.
Um, and So right now, making a band, right now that was my thought, but it's not really my goal right now.
Okay.
My goal right now is just to, as a player, really, it's just to be, uh, you know, be well known in the community, really, and also have, I want to have every single Van Halen guitar I could possibly own right now. So I
Yeah.
really want that
Yeah.
is a goal I wanted to get, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and well, let's see. And just I might do. I'm gonna start probably doing guitar covers on my Instagram, probably most likely, because I
Okay.
really want to. I see people playing Van Halen songs and like any kind of other songs that is not related from them. I see them play guitar covers, and they all play amazing. Um, and I just want to try see if I can do that too, because I'm trying to play. I'm trying to learn all these songs from VH1 all the way to 1984 and see what I can do to play all these songs, play it note for note and just try to be the best I could do at these covers. And I want to do it, possibly in the future. So, yeah.
Well, fantastic. And, I know a lot of people here would probably agree with what I'm going to say. We subscribe to a lot of social media accounts, and, it's always a pleasing thing to see somebody come up on Instagram or on your Facebook giving their version of Eruption or doing their version of Pretty Woman or Jump or something, and that's one of the interesting things about this music is that you can dig deep and you can try and get as close as you can to the record as you can as a guitar player, and we all know that and we've all experienced that. But then you can also be a guitar player that's going to give your interpretation, that's going to be based on it. So, do you know what? I don't care. I don't care what the guitar player is trying to do. I just love it. I just think that if anybody is going to film themselves filming and having a go at doing something and putting it out on social media, well, all power to them. And I know that there's a lot of people here that will support that. And that's what I like about our community, Especially, this is one of the sad things, I suppose, or the interesting things about what's happened with Eddie passing. It's not as toxic as it used to be when Eddie was alive. You had this big division between David Lee Roth fans and Sammy fans. You don't get that toxicity as much as you used to, so it's, for a lot of us now, it's always been just about Eddie, I'm one of those guys, I love Dave, I love Sammy, and I've loved Gary, yeah. To me, it's all about Eddie. It's always been about Eddie. Yeah, it's just always about Eddie. But yeah, I think if that's something that you want to do, and our channel will help you. Lots of people helped us with our channel, and we're happy to help anybody that's EVH inspired with any of their projects. So let us know, and we'll do what we can. I've got this other real question on it. I'm wearing an Eric Clapton t-shirt. I love Eric Clapton, and so you're a Van Halen nut, and you've been probably reading about, what made Eddie tick. So have you gone back? Have you gone back and listened to some of that Cream stuff that Eddie was listening to? Fresh Cream, Disraeli Gears. Have you been listening to any of that stuff that inspired Eddie yet?
A little bit, and I can see why he was a fan of Clapton. I've always been I always loved Clapton. Also, my dad was a huge Clapton fan. He even owns a Fender Eric Clapton Olympic White Stratocaster,
Oh,
and it's just yeah, it's amazing. So it really is cool. What's up, Dallas? What's up, man? And yeah, it was just I do like Clapton. I do like his music. I love Cream. I always liked the classic '60s Cream. It's just amazing. It really is. They have great music, and even I've been listening to a little more of Alan Holdsworth, actually. Holdsworth stuff a little bit.
yeah,
All the stuff that Eddie was really inspired by, and what he truly liked, because from all those two great players, you can see why and how he developed his style of playing, really, and then just take it to like a different level, and then just feeling it with rock, which is pure rock. Um, and you can really tell by that, through like that influence from him, and I like it, and I can see where you get the inspiration from. It really
yeah,
is great.
yeah, and I think that's what I like about our music, because if you discover Clapton, you discover these African American, these black blues guys. If you discover Keith Richards, Keith Richards was always talking about Robert Johnson, right? Back in the early days. So they're like gateways into a generation of musicians backwards. And that's what I always loved about Eddie Van Halen, because he always took every opportunity to talk about what inspired him, when he was a young guy himself growing up, and developing his own technique. While we're talking about interesting albums and inspiring albums, it's a good thing to know that Brian May is at the moment remastering the Starfleet project. It's an album that he did in '83 with Eddie, and I know that a lot of Van Halen nuts, when they get this, are gonna grab it, because if you haven't checked out that Blues Breakers jam that Eddie's doing, and it's just like, wow, phenomenal. He's playing this in 1983, and I think Brian's going to include some other material that never made it on that project, so it's going to be interesting. What One other thing, so on our channel, we've had a guy come on. He's got a podcast, Leandro, called the Red Special Podcast, and we've had him on here, and he's spoken to us about his Brian May Red Special, and about Brian May and how his dad built this guitar, and then from that meeting encounter we had with him, we've met a couple of other young guys who are Brian May nuts, and they've got these Brian May guitars, and they're just inspired by playing Brian May licks. It's just phenomenal. And like I said at the top of the show, I sort of stand back and go, wow, yeah, this music's just being devoured by young people. It's fantastic.
It really is, yeah. And it's kind of, you know, for someone like me, like someone as young as me, it's kind of like quite fascinating to see people, young teenagers, young kids, seeing in this like loving this type of music, um, and just starting to understand why music like that was such an influence on their parents, and for other people who are like above, like, like 40, 50 years old, they can see why they love that kind of music so much, and why kids, nowadays are started to get into the kind of music like from like classic 70s, 80s classics songs and bands, and why they were so influential, really. And I'm glad I got into that because music today, I don't like it.
I, I, look.
I don't
Yeah,
personally.
yeah. I agree. I agree, and this is something again too that we've spoken about, and we're mindful that we don't want to come from this boring old grey fart perspective. But but you know what I mean. But the music though that we had up into the mid 1990s, you know, it was real music. It was generated by bands. You know, they were in the studio. You know, there was this aura about it. There was this movement and this mystique. It was, you know, this creative aspect. You know, even though the record companies still had a grip on something, the band could still define and determine where the music was going. Today, it's all gone back to what the music was in the early 1950s. It's all about record producers now, and you know, I don't think that's a bad thing that you've discovered this music, because this music is going to give you a better grounding than any of this modern crap.
Yeah,
But I'm biased.
yeah, and I mean, like, it and it's also with musicians who really likes to play the instrument really, and it's kind of cool to see that you know people like us who likes musicians who plays that has talent really, because
Sure.
I love players and people who has talent with music really. I just love it, and I'm glad I got into that, this kind of music that kind of gives me the gift of playing guitar. Because at the beginning I wasn't really a fan of playing guitar originally until I got back into it because of Eddie.
Sure.
And yeah, it kind of really like impacted me musically, changed my ways of thinking, and helped me get through life also. That way I had some ups and downs. It helped me a lot. Yeah,
Oh,
really. Yeah.
yeah, but
There's
so yeah, you know, that's another thing. You know, and everybody here is going to agree with you. If I didn't have music when I was a young guy and even in times during my adult life, and I'm sure everybody here is going to agree with you. They know exactly where you're coming from. We've got some cool people jumping in. We were talking about Robert Ramford earlier. He's in the chat. Robert Ramford is the guy that I was telling you about that's building an outstanding 5150. Good to see you, bro. Thank you for dropping by. But yeah, the fact that you can understand this metaphysical thing that music has, it's just wonderful.
yeah. I mean, it just really like took me to like a different direction of where I wanted to be headed, because I wonder if I didn't heard about Eddie and about Van Halen and then playing guitar, I wonder where I would be at today. I really true wonder where I would be at, and because I went through a lot of stuff that affected me a lot, that through life and through school, everything was just it was just a big game changer for me, especially Eddie. I mean, this guy was like this guy was. It's kind of crazy to think that someone like this can impact you so well. It could change you completely entirely from a different person, a better person of yourself. And I just love it. I really love it, and I'm just so glad that someone like him can really make me meet these new people like you, Robert, Mikey Mojo, Luis
Yep,
from Favorite Guitar Co,
yep,
Janice,
yep.
Lenny, everybody, just everybody. And I'm just so glad I got into this. And I'm really
Yeah.
good. I'm really good and glad to be here, really, to be on the show also. So
Oh,
it's a great.
and look, it's our pleasure to have you. You know, we've been lucky to get some great guests on our channel, Leandro, and you know, the first young person we got Kirsten 5150. She came on the channel a while ago, and she brought another young guy on, but he didn't have a very good internet connection. You know, talking about Van Halen and that power of discovering Van Halen. And again, she discovered Van Halen through her dad, but wasn't until she sat and actually listened to it and reflected on it that understood clearly what this music was. So, and Brandon did the same thing. And to have you on as a young guy coming on, sharing your experiences, which resonate with our own experiences, it's quite awe-inspiring. And one of the interesting things about what we do here too, it's always about inspiring others. And the fact that you're a young guy, I'm sure you're inspiring everybody else. We've got 6 string and 10 fingers in the chat here as well. So, the fact that we want to be, good representatives of this community that we're in is always a good thing too, which I find inspiring. Yes. Yeah, we need to get Kirsten back because she was learning the guitar. So she was listening to the music, but decided that she was going to go through this process of actually playing the guitar. So it'll be interesting to touch base. So you said that you don't have any band projects coming up, that you want to build your presence on Instagram and on social media. That's always a good thing to do because that's part of the key too. Who knows what that might do, what opportunities that might bring as well too.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to see what I wonder what should I start with really, and I should really like ask that from my followers, my friends and stuff, because I always wanted to see how I can do covers because I always wanted to get a good recording software and how to like record songs and stuff and how I can show that and upload that to the media and everybody can see it who are fans of the music and they can really like compliment and comment on these covers that I will be doing because I will be doing these kind of videos and stuff later in the future. And so yeah, that'll be my thing later on.
Awesome. So I'll tell you what we'll do then for you. Like I said earlier, I'll attach your social media links to this channel. When you send those social media links to me, I'll have a banner set here, and I'll set you up too in our bot system, so that when we go live on future shows, people can meet, hook up on your social media links there too. And we'll do some shout outs to you. We've got a Facebook page attached to the channel as well. So we're more than happy. We've always said it, Leandro, here on our channel. We want to support anybody on any social media projects that they do because people helped us at the start, and the easiest, simplest thing that somebody can do is just hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to Leandro's YouTube channel when he gets one. Certainly we know he's got an Instagram. And when he asks the question about what song or what tune or what number he's going to cover first, we'll all be there. We'll all be there, ladies and gentlemen, to chime in with our opinions and our responses. So we look forward to that. I'm just looking at the time, my friend, and I'm just going to say it's been a pleasure for me and for the channel to have you on here, talking about your guitars and your music. You have a permanent invitation to our channel, my friend. If you've got any projects coming up that you want to highlight or talk about, drop me a line and we can go live for any projects you've got. We can take advantage of what we've got here. We'll be more than happy to do that, okay?
Sweet. Love it. You guys are amazing.
Fantastic. I'm going to give you the last word, and then we're going to say goodbye to everybody. I'm not going to say goodbye to you guys all like we normally do. You guys know who you are. You guys are really, really important, not only to what we do here, but to our community. And it's always nice to see familiar names on other shows and supporting other people. And when you hear a young guy like Leandro, ladies and gentlemen, talking about music, helping him through some difficult times, being happy knowing that you're going to come home and the first thing you're going to do is not eat, you're just going to grab your guitar and play. It's we've all, it's like so saying hi to people in this house. No, I'm playing the guitar. It's like, okay, yeah, you know what I mean. It's inspiring, and yeah, thank you. You're gonna have the last word, brother, and we're gonna shoot through.
Cool. Just want to say thanks, guys. Appreciate it, and I'm really really glad to be on here. I'm really grateful, and I'll be posting some more stuff and later in the future. I'll be doing what I can. I'll be doing more. I'll be doing guitar covers. So yeah, and shout out to everybody in the stream. Or shout out to everybody, to Mikey, to Luis, to John, to Christopher, to Lenny, to Dallas, everybody.
Well, we better do a shout out because John ZD351's giving me a bit of grief, so we'll do it. So Lenny Lou, thank you, Lenny Lou, always 6 strings and 10 fingers. Thank you for joining us. It's always a pleasure having you on. Christopher Live Soa, brother, fantastic, good to see you. Mikey Mojo, love you, bro. Thank you. Giants next year, please. These teams I support never do well. I always have this call next year. But anyway, that's another show. Fran, please, I want you to come on and do a channel show with us. Please, Fran. Go and check out Fran's channel, ladies and gentlemen. He's an awesome guy. He's got some great content over there. 78 EVH, thank you, brother, for hanging out with us. Robert's Tune, Lewis, thank you, bro. Thank you for the banjo strap that's on this guitar. Oh, where are we? On that guitar there. Thank you, bro. Janice Lala, wonderful. Great supporter of the channel as well. I'm going all the way up. Here we don't want to miss anybody. Robert Ramford, thank you, bro. I think that's about it. I think we got everybody. Jeff T, earlier on, he was in here. Tim Thomas, good to see you, bro. We missed Tim earlier. I think that's it. Bye-bye, everybody. Don't go anywhere, Leandro, when I play the final video. Don't go. We're just going to play the we'll play the video and end the show, and I'll have a chat to you after the show ends. Don't go anywhere, okay? I've got to say that live, ladies and gentlemen, because we've had guests on, we've played the final video, and they leave the stream, and I don't get a chance to say thank you for hanging out with me. So don't go anywhere.
I'll be right here for you.
Yeah. Oh, look, mate, we have a bit of fun. If you're not having fun, if you're not having a few laughs, okay, we're out of here. We're going to play some music. Bye-bye. Oh, where's this video? Gosh, it's been a long day. Hold on. Happy birthday, EVH. It's
King.
Is it the 26th where you are now, or is it getting close to it?
It's 11:42, so like 40 minutes probably, 60 minutes probably. I'm not sure. Very close. It's like under 20 minutes right now from now. So like it's very close to his birthday.
Okay. Well, it's still the 26th here, so we're going to say happy birthday, EVH. Thank you for the music. God bless you.
The king.